All right. Unit 1 practice test or review, whatever you want to call it. Write the letter for the correct answer in the blank at the right for each question. I can't fit that into this, so you have to just follow along on your worksheet. Number 1, which integer represents a loss of 20 bucks? Well, right here, A, this is an absolute value, so that's more like a distance from 0. That's not really what we're looking for right here. B, that's a negative 20. Well, negative would represent some kind of loss or taking awayness. So I would say B. Let's just check those other ones to make sure it's good. C is the absolute value of 20. Well, that again is distance. And D is a positive 20, which would be really weird to represent a loss with a positive value, which is okay with accounting, but this is not accounting. So I highly recommend that you guys write this stuff down so that when you take the test, you know what the heck is going on. Right? Because again, we want you guys to do well on the test. Any questions on number 1 though? All right, number 2, what is the value of the absolute value of negative 4? So again, this is referring to distance. How far away is negative 4 from 0? Well, for me, I would say that it's 4. It's definitely not 8. I don't know how they got that. We're not just going to make it a negative for some reason. It's not that, it's the opposite. And it's not the same thing, because negative 4 is 4 away, so it's not negative 4. So H. There we go. Number 3. This one is including some operation. So the absolute value of 7 is? 7. That's pretty nice. The absolute value of negative 3 is? 3, because it's 3 away from 0. When we add these two, 7 plus 3, I get 10.
I got 10, but what
Number 4, which integers represent Q and R on the number line? Well, Q, if we were just to look at that value, I got, not negative, it's a positive 1. So F is automatically eliminated. G is showing Q as negative 1, so that's elimination. And H is showing Q as 3, that's eliminated. But let's just confirm also that R is negative 3. Well, 0, going to the left, we're going into the negatives. Negative 1, negative 2, bam, negative 3. My answer is I. Number 5, what value of S makes negative 18 minus negative 5 equals S a true statement? So we're just looking for negative 18 minus negative 5. All right, so when we do these, I'm going to use the number line, and not everyone really has to, but here we go. I'm going to start at negative 18, so 1, wait, hold on, negative 5, this is a negative 10, negative 15, 16, 17, 18. So from negative 18, right here, the minus tells us to go to the left, but the negative 5 tells us to do the opposite of left, which is, yeah, it's going to go to the right. Some of you, that's correct, would prefer just to change this to a big fat plus sign, right? Which also indicates that we go to the right. How far? 5. So from negative 18, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 15, negative 14. That's going to give us negative 13, which is C. Now remember, another way to look at this is that we have more negatives than what we're adding. So it's kind of like we're taking away some negatives by adding that 5, if you want to look at it that way. For this one, since we're adding and subtracting with this negative stuff, addition and subtraction is more about direction, not about how many negatives there are. A snake dives towards deeper water at a rate of 18 inches per second. If the snake continues at this rate for a total of 9 seconds, which expression represents this situation? Well, since it's diving deeper into the water, it's going downwards into the water, which means we should have some kind of negative value. But it's going to do this for 9 seconds, right? So some people would say that you got negative 18, and then that would represent 1 second. And then for the second second, you would add another negative 18, like this. And then you'd add for the third second another negative 18. You'd do this 9 times, okay?
Or you can just do negative 18 times.
Well, yeah, so this is addition that's repeating the same number. So repeated addition always changes into multiplication, which means that F and G could not possibly be the answers. And since we're multiplying this 9 times, because we're doing this for 9 seconds, we'd have 9 groups of the negative 18, which represents H. Alright, this one is negative 9 groups, or the opposite of 9 groups of negative 18. That's false, because it's not the opposite. Number 7, Amanda has 31 bucks in her purse. She pays $6 for lunch. Which expression represents this situation? So this is addition and subtraction, because she has some money, then she's just gonna give away the $6 or pay the $6. So she's definitely not adding, which is what A is showing. That's bad. She could be adding a negative, though. That would be fine. So that may be it. Let's check the other ones, though. She's not starting with negative $31, and D is showing the same thing, so that's no good. So B, she has the 31 bucks, and then it's kind of like we're subtracting the $6, so that is also represented by adding negatives. We could change that easily into 31 minus 6. B. Number 8, elevation. The highest point in Argentina is 6,960 meters above sea level. The lowest point is 105 meters below sea level. What is the difference in meters between the highest and lowest elevation? Alright, so I'm going to use a picture for this one. So I got my highest point in Argentina, which is 6,960 meters. Oh, that may be too much, but then if we go down to 0, we'll need to go down even farther, because that would be considered sea level right here. 0 is sea level. Well, we've got to go down even farther, another 105 meters, which is below. So that's kind of like a negative right there. So the expression, not that it asks for this, but we're going from 6,960 meters, and we're going to go all the way down to negative 105. And since we're looking at the difference, or the distance between these 2 points, which is difference, we're going to subtract this. So we'll put that in parentheses. That is why we add these two together, because this is the same as 6,960 plus 105, which would give us 7,065. But, well, this one's multiple choice. If it was open-ended, you'd have to label that in meters. So it looks like our answer is F. The lowest temperature on Mars can reach negative 140 degrees Celsius, while the highest temperature can be 20 degrees Celsius. What is the difference between the highest and lowest temperatures? Well, so let's look at this kind of like we would on a thermometer, not that they really make them this way anymore. But if this was 0 degrees Celsius, then we'd have to go all the way down to negative 140 degrees in Celsius. That would give us the lowest. The highest, though, shows is 20 degrees. So what's the difference? Well, if we went from 140 to 0, that's a change of 140. And then we'd have to go up another 20 degrees right here. So we have to add these two to find the difference between them, which would be 160 degrees in Celsius. C. Number 10, a window cleaner rises 36 feet up the side of a building. Then he descends 17 foot. what is his final position? Well, I like pictures. I like to draw as well. It's pretty nice. So, if I look at a picture on these, he's going to go from the ground. He's going to go up 36, right? Up to 36 foot. And then it says descends. That's going downwards another 17 foot. So that would be minus 17, right, account? Yeah, very good. That's going to give us old 19 foot. And so this person now is 19 foot, but it's above the ground. So the negative one is not going to work. It's got to be G. So why are they putting 53 on F and I? Because then you would maybe add those together, but those are no good. It's not F or I. It's G. All right, 11 through 15. What is the value? Oh, the expression. Well, for 11, if we looked on a number line for this one, would go to the right. The opposite of right, rather, 7. So in other words, and some of you guys would just do that, we'd just make that a big fat minus sign, right? 11 minus 7, bam, 4. What about 12? Now we have multiplication, so we do want to know how many negatives there are. In this one, well, I've got this negative 5, that's 1. Negative 11 is 2. 2 is even, so we know for sure that the answer is a positive. Positive, which means that right now H and I are eliminated. Well, 5 times 11, 16, right? 55. Very good. How did they get 16? Does anyone know? Yeah? It's close. That's close. What's your name again? Olivia. That's correct. Somehow they added those two together and got 16. But it's not 16. It is not 16. So be careful. All right, 13. Negative 15 divided by a good old negative 3. So once again, this is even number of negatives, 2. So we know the answer is definitely positive right here. So yeah. 15 divided by 3 like these. 3 doesn't go into 1, but it will go into 15 exactly 5 times. And since we already know it's positive, we got to find 5 right account. I don't see it. B, found it. All right, 14. This one's at negative 39er. And then which direction are we going in? To the left, because it's minus. Right account. And we're going to go to the left 7. So if I was in the negatives, I'm going to have something even more negative, which means it's going to give us a negative 46 on the number line if we were to look at this, right? So zeros over here. Negative 39 may be around right here. So we're going to go to the left 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which if we had counted, that would give us a negative 46. There we go. 15, 8 groups of negative 4s. So negative 4, you can use fingers on this, by the way. It's not shameful to use fingers. Negative 4, negative 8, negative 12, negative 16, all the way up to 32. Nope. Negative 32. Very good. These ones is no good. All right. Number 16. By the way, at the top there it tells us the values of A, B, and C. A is 4. B is 7. C is negative 5. So in these expressions, we're going to exchange the letters with their respective numbers. Okay? There you go.
So B is 7, and then 4, and you change the negative sign and the subtraction sign into an adding sign, and then it equals 11.
Bam! 16 or 11. Excellent work. Now remember, if you guys volunteer to do these, and Selena was good. If you volunteer to do these, though, and you get it wrong, just don't feel bad, okay? This is a good time to get it wrong, which is why we're just reviewing or practicing the test on this, okay? So just be aware. It's okay to get stuff wrong. Good luck.
Okay. So A is 4. 4. And it's multiplying by -5. And that equals -20.
Bam. 4 groups of -5, -20. All right, this next one's pretty rough because it's a division. You must be very careful, and it's got negatives. Uh-oh. All right, good luck.
So you have 7, because B is 7, so -7 over 7, and you take -7 divided by 7 equals -1.
Bam. 8, -1. Do you mind circling that, please? That's good. Excellent. Thank you. All right, number 19, A plus 13. Thank you.
Okay. So it's really easy because A is 4, so it's just A, or 4 plus 13, which is 17.
Bam. Good work.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I just write the answer?
Well, explain.
Oh, okay. Okay, so A is 4. B is 7, but you're doing -7. That equals -3.
Bam. Excellent work.
I'm a smart boy.
Circle that too. Good luck.
Okay. So it's C plus 6, and C is -5. And then, so that plus 6, it goes 1 over, so it equals 1.
Bam. Excellent work.
So it's 3 times -5. And since there's one negative, it would be a -15.
Bam. Excellent work. Good luck.
I'm sorry.
-2,
Why -2?
because it's -8 divided by 4.
Bam. That works. Odd number of negatives. Makes that a -2. Graph the set of integers on the number line. I think they gave you a number line on the sheet, but unfortunately for me, they did not. Jerks.
They didn't give me one.
All right, if they didn't, you're going to have to make your own, and that's okay. I'll make the number line 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the negative direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a -5 right account.
I almost did it with my pencil.
I need one.
Lollipop.
Oh, that's all box.
Negative.
Weird.
Alright, pay attention.
1. Oh. Goes on -1 and 1 and 4.
Let's do it. That will do. Well, there's the whole page. If you like it, well, it's there if you don't like it either.
What did I do?
Number 1, write the letter for the correct answer in the blank at the right of each question. Okay, well, number 1, which integer represents a loss of $20? Well, A looks like it's pretty close, but it's not actually a negative because it's the absolute value. So it's really asking how far away -20 is from 0, which is kind of related. B would do it because this one, since it's a loss of 20, it would be considered a -20. By the way, C doesn't work because, again, that's the absolute value of a positive, and D is just positive, so no good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, what's the value of 4 right here? Yeah. Oh, can't see that color.
You're good.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, -4 is, so basically you could do a number line. But, oh, what did I do? It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be the answer. But how you would get it is, you draw a number line. Oh my. It's a great number line. Here. You would have 0, right? Oh my, what am I doing? Oh. Oh, thanks. So this would be 0 right here. Oh. And then there would be 1 right, what the heck? 1 right here, and here, 5, and just 5. Oh. 5, and then you would have 1, 2, 3. Dang it. Right here, so -4 would be right here, and you would go over 4, which would be 4 away from 0, so the answer is H4.
Sorry, 4, right? Very good. So H was the answer on these. There you go.
Okay. So the absolute value of 7 is 7. Whoa. And the absolute value of 3 is is 3. So 7 plus 3 equals 10.
Hey, very good. Thank you.
So, zero's right here, so you go 1, 2, 3, and that is -3, because that's in the negative area, and then you go 1, 2, and that is 1, +1, because it's in the positive area, and then you look, and it's that one.
Very good.
Nice job.
Nice work. Number 5 is just asking you to solve that expression, by the way.
So 18 minus -5, you can just turn that into a plus sign. So it's -18 plus 5. And then -18 plus 5 would be $13, and then that's the answer.
All right. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, on at these. Since we started with negative 18 and then we added 5, it's kind of like going to the right 5, right? So that would make that a negative 13. So yeah, we just got to change it from B to C.
That's what I meant to do.
That's good. There you go. There you go.
Okay. So a snake dives towards deeper at the water at a rate of 18 inches per second. If the snake continues at this rate for 9 seconds, which expression will fit the situation? So what you have to do is do 18 divide 9. So, or 19 divide 9 divide 18. So that would be H. Negative 8 because you're just going down from top of the water, so it'd be H.
Very good. Excellent work. Good luck.
Amanda has $31 in her purse. She pays $6 for lunch. Which expression represents this situation? So basically, it would be. So it would be since she pays $6, it'd be -6, and she has $31, so it'd just be positive for 31. So I'm gonna cross out and do that kind of stuff. So since it's one negative, it's not gonna be D or A. And since it's -6, it's not gonna be C, so it'd be B.
Bam. Excellent work. There you go.
Okay, so the highest point in Argentina is that's supposed to be an underline, but 6,960 meters above sea level. So what is the different in meters between, is it supposed to be difference?
That's fine. Difference works as well.
What is the difference in meters between the highest and the lowest elevation points? And I skipped so you would go 6,960 minus 105 is.
You can show us on there on the bottom.
Oh, okay. I will.
That way we can see your work.
6,960 60 minus 105. So you go. That'd be fine. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 1 is 8. 6. 10. 5. 6,855. That would be H.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
But it says it's below sea level and then above.
Uh-oh. It does say that.
So then wouldn't it be F? Yeah.
Well, let's find out. Here's the thing. Is since this is a difference between the two, right? We got a 6960, and then the lowest point is 105, but it's a negative 105, so it's really minus negative 105 right there. So yeah, we would end up changing that to a big plus right here. And then that's going to change a little bit, because now we're just going to add 0 plus 5 is 5, 6 plus 0 is 6, 9 plus 1 is a 10, carry the 1, 6 plus 1, 7, bam. So as it turns out, we would have to change this to F. There we go.
Okay. The lowest temperature on Mars can reach negative 140 degrees Celsius, while the highest temperature can be 20 degrees Celsius. What is the difference between the highest and lowest on Mars? So you would go negative 140 plus 20, and then it'd be, wait, yeah, so that's 6, but it's negative. I think I did that wrong. Whatever.
All right. Well, what is negative 140 plus 20?
120. That's what
That would
I
be
meant.
negative 120, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So let's take a gander at this one. It's okay. Well, we'll check. All right. So we see that, let's say that this is 0 degrees Celsius right here. And then we'll go down all the way to the minimum, which is a negative 140 degrees Celsius, right? But then it goes all the way up to 20 degrees Celsius, right about right here. So what does this mean? Well, it means that the difference is the distance. That's the same thing. What's the distance from 20 to 140? Well, you'd have to go up to 140. But then you'd have to go up another, because that only gets you to 0, right? So, but then you got to go up another 20 degrees. When we add these, you get 160 degrees. So, I mean, yeah, the answer right here is kind of correct. It's just,
Positive.
it would be positive. And negative 140 plus 20 is a little off there, okay? Which is okay, which is why we have this here. So we can see that the answer is C. All right, number 10. What we have is we got the ground level, which we'd call 0. And then this cleaner is going to go up 36 foot up in here, up to 36. And then it says they're going to go down another 17 foot. So they went down 17. And where do they end up at? I mean, if you wanted to do a full number line, you could. But they will end up at 19. Very good. 19 foot. So, G. Well, what about 11 plus negative 7? Well, I would change that plus a negative to a big fat minus sign right here, like these. And then we got 11 minus 7, which is 4C. Very nice. Now 12, this is multiplication. How many negatives does we have? 2, which is even, so the answer is a positive. Since we know it's positive, if you wanted to, like Christian did, you could eliminate those two at least. And it's either 55 or 16. Well, this is multiplication. 5 groups of 11 would give us 55. We could also look at this as the opposite of 5 groups of negative 11, which is still positive. All right, what about 13? Negative 15 divided by negative 3. B. That is correct. Again, we got 2 negatives. They're going to cancel each other out. That's good. 14. Well, we're starting at negative 39er. Then we're going to go to the left 7. Then we'll be deeper into the negatives, you guys. So be careful on those. 15 is 8 groups of negative 4, which is D. Very good. 16 through 23 tells us the values of A, B, and C at the top there. A is 4, B is 7, C is negative 5. So in this one, we're going to replace B with 7, and then everything else is the same, right? Minus a negative fewer, right here. And since that's minus a negative, we'll change that to plus. 7 plus fewer, 11. 17, A times C. Well, A is 4, and C is negative 5. So 4 groups of negative 5s would give us negative 20. For 18, we got negative 7 divided by b, which is 7. So negative 7 divided by 7. It's kind of like the opposite of 7 divided by 7, which is going to be negative. What's 7 divided by 7? 1. 1, very good. 19, a plus 13. A is 4. So 4 plus 13 equals 17. Number 20 is a minus b, and a is 4. B is 7. So 4 minus 7 is negative 3. The next one, C, is negative 5, so I'm replacing that value. Negative 5 plus 6, 1. 22 is 3 times C. The C value is negative 5 up in count. 3 groups of negative 5 would give us? Negative 15. And 23, negative 8 divided by A, which is 4. Negative 8 divided by 4 is? Negative 2. Finally, on number 24, it says we get to graph this on the number line, so let's give ourselves a nice number line right here. You got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. So, the first point is negative 1, which would be 1 to the left of 0, right account, negative 1. The next value is 1, which would be right account. And we should label these, by the way. And then 4 is 4 to the right of 0, 4. Bam. There they are. Write the letter for the correct answer in the blank at the right of each question. Well, I don't have the blanks because I can't fit it on here, but you do. So, which integer represents a loss of 20? Well, A wouldn't work because that's how far away something is from 0. B will work because, well, it's negative. And a loss should be represented by a negative value. You wouldn't say that I lost $20 and say that you have now $20. That would be a little weird. But some of you are a little weird, so maybe that's okay with you. All right. What is the value of the absolute value of negative 4? Smith?
4.
What? Well, the absolute value is really asking how far away negative 4 is from 0. Bam, 4. I found it. What is the value of 7? Absolute value of 7 plus the absolute value of negative 3. Well, the absolute value of 7 is 7. And then we're going to add that to the absolute value of negative 3, which is 3. 7 plus 3, bam, A. 10. That's 10. Which integers represent Q and R on the number line? Well, Q we can see has a value of a 1 right here, and R has a value of a negative 3 up in here. So F won't work, G won't work, neither will H. Bam, I found it. It's I. Number 5, what value of S makes negative 18 minus negative 5 a true statement? Well, I'm going to change that to a big fat plus sign right here. Now I've got negative 18 plus 5. So from negative 18, I'm going to the right 5, which would give me negative 13. C. Number 6. This one's good. All right, for number 6, we're going to use a picture because drawing is so fun. And of course, we have the color of the ocean right here. And this snake is somewhere down here. We don't really care where it is. But we do know from right here, it's going to go down deeper into the water 18 inches every second. So in 1 second, he's gone down 18 inch. Well, in 2 seconds, he's gone down now another 18 inch, which gives us 36, right? And then 18, and then 18. This is going to happen 9 times because it's 9 seconds. So which expression would work? Well, since it's going downwards, we would actually represent that with a negative 18. And since we have 9 of them, it's like having 9 groups of negative 18 right account. So it appears that our answer is H. Monies. Amanda has 31 bucks in her purse. She pays $6 for lunch. Which expression represents this situation? Well, Tiger.
Well, B would represent that.
Why?
Because the positive sign and negative sign next to each other are turned into a subtraction sign.
Correct. Well, this one represents the 31 bucks is how much she has, so that's a positive. So that's why that 31 is positive. And since she's paying $6, it's like adding a negative, or if we had, we would write subtraction maybe, but there's multiple choice, so we're in good shape. All right, number 8. This one, again, we're going to draw a picture because it's so fun. And the highest point in Argentina is way up here, up to 6,960 meters, right here. And then if we go all the way down, this would be 0, which is considered to be sea level. So we'll just write that in so it understands it a little bit better. And then from 0, we go down another 105 meters because it says it's below sea level. So we're going to indicate that this is below by 105 meters. Bam. So what is the difference in meters between the highest and lowest elevation points? Well, we can see, let's start at the bottom right here at 105. Just to get to 0, I got to go up 105, up here. And then from there, I got to go up another 6,960. So it looks like I'm going to add those. The real expression, though, should be your 6960. And then we're comparing this with the negative 105 up in here. And since it's a difference, we would subtract these. And then, of course, we'd make that a big plus sign right up in here. So when we add these two together, right, some of you guys like the vertical addition, like these. 5, 6, 0, and 7. Carry the 1. Bam! And that's in meters, of course. So it appears that our answer is F. Planets. The lowest temperature on Mars can reach negative 140 degrees Celsius, while the highest temperature can be 20 degrees Celsius. What is the difference between the highest and lowest temperatures on Mars? Well, let's say that this is 0 up in here. Well, negative 140 would be all the way down up in here. Negative 140 degree. This is how thermometers used to work, by the way. They weren't digital, right? So, from negative 140 to 0, you got to go up all the way to 0. That would be 140 degree change right here. But then from 0, it's got to go all the way up to 20 degree. So, we got to go from 0 up another 20. Oh, that's the same thing. Thank you. So let's add up another 20. And what is the change? 160 degrees Celsius. That, of course, is C. Yes. A window cleaner rises 36 foot up the side of a building, then descends 17 foot. What is his final position? So let's say, right account, that's the ground, that's 0. Ground. But then this person's going to go up 36 foot, way up in count. That would be 36 foot. And then they're going to go descending 17 foot, right about right account. I mean, if you wanted to make the full number line, you could. But then how far off the ground are this person? Well, it would be 36 minus the 17, which is 19 foot. So the answer on these, G. Number 11. 11 plus negative 7. Well, right account, we would just change this to a big fat minus sign right there. Because it's the opposite of plus, which is minus. So 11 minus 7, bam. 4. And naturally, that is C. All right, number 12 is saying that we're going to take the opposite of 5 groups of negative 11s. Or you could just say you have 2 negatives. Yep. And that would give you a positive answer. That's great. But 5 times 11, F. There it is. If you want, it can be an F plus. Doesn't matter. All right. Negative 15 divided by negative 3. We got 2 negatives, so we know this one's going to be positive as well. 15 divided by 3, if you wanted to do a long division. But this one, the answer is B.
Yes, I'm 100%.
5. Number 14, negative 39er minus 7. So from the number line, we'll start at negative 39. Going to the left, 7. That's going to take us all the way to F. All right, number 15. If we got 8 groups of negative 4, then what do we got if we got 8 groups of negative 4? Is it 32? No. Is it 4? No. Is it negative 2?
No.
It is negative 32.
Yeah.
All right, that is correct. All right, 16 through 23, we're just replacing the letters with the numbers that they tell us the letters equals. So for example, 16, this is B minus negative 4, and B is 7. So the rest of it stay the same, minus negative 4, right account. And minus negative is going to change that to a big fat plus sign like a tease. And the 7 plus 4 now, 11. All right, 17 is A times C, so we're going to replace A with fewer. And then we're going to replace C with negative 5. So this is really asking what 4 groups of negative 5 be. And that would be a negative 20. All right, 18, we got a negative 7 divided by B, which as we all know from the top there is 7. So it's kind of like the opposite of 7 divided by 7. And that would be a negative 7 divided by 7, 1. All right, number 19, A plus 13. So we got this plus 13. I'm just going to replace A with what it be, and that is fewer. 4 plus 13, this one's rough. You may have to use some fingers, but that's okay. 17. Yeah, you have fingers. You know, how else can you pick your nose? Gotta have fingers, right? All right, the next one, we got subtraction. And A is fewer, and B is 7. So 4 minus 7, bam, 11. Nope, no, you must be careful. It is obviously 3. Very good. It is negative 3. All right, here we got C, which is negative 5. And then we're going to add 6, right? So that would be 11 right there. Negative 1, because there's one negative, right? Nope. It's just 1. All right, 3 times C. So 3 times the C, which is a negative 5 right here. That's 3 groups of negative 5, 15. Negative, very good. Finally, number 23, negative 8. And we'll divide by A, which was fewer. Negative 8 divided by 4. It's going to give us a negative 2. All right. Graph the set of integers negative Juan, and Fo. Negative 1 would be 1 to the left of 0. So I'll just make that a different color. There's negative Juan. We can put a point there. That looks really nice. 1 is 1 to the right of 0. So there's a 1. And then 4 is 4 to the right of 0. Bam. 4. That's it. I got it. Nope, we're not finished. Alright, take a moment and try these. This over here is the absolute value of negative 2. It's not negative 21. Alright, here we go. I got it! No! There's the work.